Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Web Tools TV. And today we have, actually, I was going to say special friend, but I hope special friend doesn't have a weird, weird connotation. But we have Alex Yong, and he is special, and he is my friend. I'm glad to have him here. And let's see, I advertised you as Web Tools Connoisseur. How does that sound, Alex?
Well, for this show, I think it's pretty apropos. I am a Web Tools connoisseur. But by trade, I'm a journalist. I'm also a freelance writer. I have a lot of skills, and I hope to show off some of those skills for you today.
Excellent. I think that even if you tried not to, you couldn't help but show your skills because you really are talented. I love our conversations on Skype because Alex comes up with these things where it's like, wow, I never thought of that. These intellectual discussions that aren't so deep that they're boring. But is anything really boring?
Thanks. Yeah, I guess that's the flip side of me, because the tools side, like the part of me that loves tools, is sort of, I don't know, utilitarian, and there's not a whole lot of interesting there, except when you apply the layer of why you're using a certain tool and what are you going to do with that tool. Then that sort of makes the other side, it's sort of a balance, I think Einstein said something like, it's not intelligence and knowledge. It's not about the knowledge. It's about the imagination, and that's really what makes the intelligence. Or maybe it was misquoted to Einstein, but somebody said that. Maybe.
Good quote. Yes, I also love the quotes you come up with, and the you send a little a Twitter link to go check out what people are saying, and it's like you are not just a connoisseur of web tools, but you're like a connoisseur of what's going on the internet. You're definitely an influencer.
Oh, thanks. I'm just fascinated by how fast things change and how trends come and go, and I guess there's a part of me that doesn't want to miss out, that whole FOMO thing, and I don't know. It's just I've never really been the type of person that has to be the first to know, but for some reason with social media, that's not the case. I do sort of want to be one of the first to know. I'm not sure why.
I think you tend to be, you've told me about a lot of tools. I haven't actually made like a complete matrix or Excel spreadsheet on which tools have I heard about from Alex originally. I think there's only one ever that you mentioned that I was already looking at. I don't know if that was Blab or one of those. It's new. Otherwise, when you tell me about a tool, it's like, oh, I hadn't heard that one. I got to check that out. I don't know if that means that I'm not paying any attention, or you're really good at what you do, Alex.
I think I'm just really lucky at just crossing paths with all these cool tools. It's just sort of serendipitous, I guess.
That makes sense. Well, with that, let me turn it over to you. I'm almost like one of the audience members here because I'm sitting here. I need my popcorn so I can actually watch you as you have what, 4 or 5, 3 tools you want to mention?
Well, I know at least 2, and I think maybe a third, but I can't remember what it is.
That's
no,
right.
I haven't been drinking.
No, I think you definitely are with it, so it does not appear that you're drinking. But that's okay. But, the thing that I love about doing the Web Tools TV is we just kind of let it roll where it rolls and ad libs. So let me turn it over to you, Alex, and go ahead and start with your first featured tool.
Great. Well, a tool that I ran across not too long ago is called ThingLink. Yes, it's ThingLink, just like how it sounds. And what it does, it allows you to add links to an image, and the image can be rather large. It can be really long, like an infographic. And someone had told me, well, that's nothing really new because you've been able, there's a way in WordPress, for example, you can have the entire image be a link. But this is a little different, and I'll have to sort of let you see. Can you see this, Deborah?
I can see that. As you're describing it, I'm thinking of like image maps, where you'd have one picture and there'd be several different linkable hotspots within the image. And it seems like that kind of went away with WordPress because that was like the old style HTML, and unless you're using Photoshop and have it do it for you, it's kind of a pain in the butt actually.
Yeah. I remember someone had said to me that just exactly what you said, and that it was a pain. But so is it safe to say that people really aren't doing that anymore? They're just using one link per image, like the whole image becomes a link?
That's I've seen more of the. I don't see image maps. I did it on Social Web Cafe TV for a while, and the only reason I pulled it down was because I was going a different way with the theme. But yeah, I don't see image maps being done. I see almost like collage type things where people will have, like you picture a gallery of images, and then each image is separately linked. But so it kind of gives
Hmm.
that feel, but it's still
Right.
not an image map. So this seems really new.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could think of it as sort of a pseudo throwback to that because what this service does, it allows you to create little hot buttons, which you can see here. Uh, Now, the whole thing where it says click here in yellow with the green background, now I had to make that as part of the graphic because ThingLink, it doesn't have the sort of rich capability to make a font,
Okay.
gigantic, So click here where you see that's done by me. But I strategically placed it next to the button. Well, I actually placed the button next to the click here. And so the button will take the reader to this Google Hangout that I did on July 17th.
I
And
think I played with that. I think I've actually seen this image. You had it linked or you sent it to me in Skype, and I don't know if it's weird, but I literally sat and played with it because I just
oh,
enjoy
good.
clicking. I mean, I feel like a 5-year-old was like, this is so fun. And just like, oh, where does this go? Where does this go? Where does this
Well, you
go?
know what? That is the point, and I'm glad that you played around with it because um, that is the point of ThingLink, is to have the buttons sort of intrigue people to say, okay, well, where does this go? Just like
Yep.
you did, and I'm glad you did. And so this button, which is over to the side a little, goes directly to the replay, and what it showed prior to July 17th was a picture of my face, and it said, click here for the replay. But of course, now that it's after the fact, the replay is actually there. So as you can see over here, because I'm logged into my ThingLink account, you're going to have the functional buttons edit, and then touch is just their way of saying like. That's like a Facebook like, because
Oh,
in a
okay.
way, yeah, it's a platform as well. I don't know how many active users there are on it, but I did get Melanie to join, Melanie Berger, who was part of
Yep.
my HOA. And then share is it allows you to share to all the social networks like Twitter. Full screen is self-explanatory. And then post, I believe, lets you add to a internal thing link collection. But that's if you're really into the platform. And I, right now, I'm not. I'm just more enamored with the functionality and what you can do now. This particular graphic looks really good on, a tablet turned portrait because it's long, but
Right.
because I have to go with what I have here, I'm going to just show you the entire thing slowly, and I'm going to let you see that there are buttons next to each participant. So this button will go to Maria's YouTube, and then this button over here will go to Kim's Instagram. Now, let's say Kim called me up and said, you know what, Alex, replace my Instagram link with my Twitter. Easy. It's so easy to do. You just go back up to the top where it says edit, and then once it comes up, it'll take you to something called the ThingLink tag editor. And it's just this is so simple, really. I would say a 13-year-old could do it, maybe even younger. These days, the way kids
That'd be
are,
fun
right?
to test. Yeah.
And
Exactly.
so the image editor will let you edit the buttons to whatever you want. And so what you do is you go to the actual button, and then there'll be an edit menu over on the side. And it's so easy, uh, it's so easy, just take my word for it. It's just so self-explanatory, and they really did a good job with the user interface. The only problem that I have, the only criticism is that the buttons sort of look like bullet points. And I believe the premium version of ThingLink lets you change the buttons to stars and different things. Like the Twitter can be a bird, like an outline of the Twitter bird.
Okay.
And you can change the colors too, because right now it's just black and white, but you can make red bullets, blue ones. And so after you're done with your edits, you click Save Image. And because I didn't change anything, I can just close out. But I'm going to show you some blunders that I did so that you don't make those blunders as well. Now, over
Okay,
here, you can
that's
see
helpful.
you can see the whole edit interface here over to the upper right corner. Now, on this other image that I did, you can see that the interface sort of obscures the image. Now, that isn't just a problem because I'm logged in. When someone else goes to see this image, even if they're not a ThingLink user, they're going to see share. They won't see edit. They'll see share. They'll see
The
yeah, I
favorite one,
think
the touch.
yeah. The point is they'll see some of this, and it's going to obscure the main image, and that's my fault because I didn't position this properly.
Right. Of course, you didn't know at the time, so that's why you're
I didn't
sharing
know at the
the
time,
blender.
correct.
Right.
Yes, yeah. But so as you can see, the other one, the green one, is much better placed, and that was actually by luck. But
But it is nicely placed because it looks good as far as graphically how you have it laid out, but it also is like
thank you.
it saved the space for that.
And so let me show you a really good one by Olivia Palermo, who was part of MTV's The City, if anybody remembers that show. Olivia's an influencer on ThingLink, and she does a lot of these sort of apparel montages, right? And so if you go to any one of these images, look, she has the white heart on the black background. So this leads me to believe that she's a premium user.
Right. Right.
Because what I was limited to just round buttons on a round background, and so they ended up looking like bullet points. But as you can see, this is another long image that was probably optimized for a portrait tablet. But if you go down all the way to the end, you can see that there's the ThingLink logo. And so if you are part of the white label plan on ThingLink, what you can do is you could actually make this transparent. And that is their way of saying, if you don't want the logo, pay us and you can make it transparent. And then when you stop paying us, it becomes
That's just,
opaque again.
but it's nice that they offer the tool for free for those people that don't have the money or don't want to pay for it.
Right, like me.
Yeah, but I pay for a lot of tools, but oh my goodness, I'd want to have all the tools, and there's just a certain point where that's $100,000 later because I've got every tool under the.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. And so once you're logged into the ThingLink ecosystem, you can press Explore, and then it'll help you with discovery, and it'll try to match up things that you like to different users. But I think it's a pretty cool software. I love to do graphics, and a lot of the graphics aren't straightforward, and they kind of need explanation. So it really facilitates that,
Makes sense. Cool. Are
So
you ready for the next tool? I don't mean to move you
yeah,
forward.
yeah. Well, let me ask you, what did you think of ThingLink overall?
I think it's great. I think it's, the biggest challenge with any of these tools is figuring out which one you want versus need or you have time, even with social networks. And I think that's the biggest challenge. But watching it, it's almost like creating, I'm thinking of an infographic that I put together, and it compares different sites like email, like GetResponse, Aweber. And it'd be nice to take that and actually link to the different services.
Yeah, it would. And I just wanted to let you, I wanted to clarify with this, any button that's linked to a YouTube video will actually play in the screen that you're on. It's not going to open up a new tab or whatever. It's going to show the video. Now, this video box is kind of small, but in certain situations, it's not going to matter, especially if the audio is more important than the video.
That's excellent. Even for Web Tools TV, I could put a montage together of different episodes and have they can watch it right from one spot.
Yeah, I mean, I could take a graphic like this. Now this is kind of something that I'm into. I'm into personalization and personalized communications. Now I could have sent Brad, who's a public relations professional, I could have sent Brad an email, but I didn't. I sent him a graphic, and it didn't take me long at all. It took me about 10 minutes. And so I put his name, just like a memo, just like an old school memo, from Alex Yong to Brad, and then the summary of what we talked about, because we talked on the phone prior. And this was just me trying to get my friend a sponsorship for his podcast, which is no longer in existence. But when it was, they were looking for sponsors, and this communications graphic almost sealed the deal. Now they couldn't come to a negotiation, but that had nothing to do with me. But
Right, right.
the graphic really almost sealed the deal as far as putting these two parties together. But a
Excellent.
little shout out to my friend David, who is the camera guy opposite of Gary Vee in the hashtag Ask Gary Vee show. Here's David, who used to have a
Excellent.
podcast, but he no longer does. Shout out, David. Anyway,
Yay.
my other tool of the day is called OneTab. It's only for Chrome. Sorry, all you Safari and Firefox and Internet Explorer users. What it does is it condenses all of your tabs into one tab, hence the name. And the backstory was that the creator just had such a need that he created this. He's like, you know what, it rocks. I'm going to share it with the world. I don't care about making money from it. It's something that I want to leave the world because it's so helpful. And so as you can see here, I have, like, I don't know, 13, 11 tabs open here. So what I'm
Mhm.
going to do is I'm going to click the bookmarklet called One Tab, and it's going to send everything into one tab. Well, let me show you that you can actually pick and choose which tabs you want. For example, I can just say, I want all the tabs over to the right of this tab to go to one tab. So it says here, one tab, send tabs on the right to one tab. So once I click that, you're going to see these three condense up and feed one tab. And so I've reduced the amount of tabs I have open. Now
That's
I
really
want to,
handy.
isn't it? Isn't
It
it
is.
cool? And so
I
if you just press the fast express button, everything is going to go into one tab, and the only tab that you'll see open is one tab.
okay, that makes sense.
And then if you want to revive the tab, you just click and watch what happens. It'll just revive, and it'll pull out of the one tab, you know, central tab.
That is so handy. I mean, there's times that like I'm working on, let's say, a website, WordPress, whatever, and I've got different posts open or something, and then I want to open some other random thing that's like it gets lost in the middle of, 20 tabs. That'd be so great because
Yeah.
different projects can have a different tab.
Can I just show you what happens when you press the Express tab? You're going to see everything condense, everything collapse. And
Oh, that's
there they
cool.
went. Yep. So isn't that cool? I just love tools, Deborah.
That is very cool. I'm gonna, when we're done here, I'm gonna go open Chrome and I'm gonna go search for that and, and add that one.
But you don't use Chrome, do you? I mean,
I do. I actually use all three. Well, I don't use Internet Explorer, but I use Firefox, Safari, and Chrome.
oh, okay.
So I'm
And
popping between.
I'm going to assume that this works on a Chromebook as well. I've never tried a Chromebook, but one tab, I want to give a shout out to whoever created it. I don't know your name, sir or madam, but you guys rock because, leaving this as your gift to the world, it has helped me a lot.
Definitely. I can definitely see where that's helpful. I actually use Chrome a lot because there are little plugins like the Ninja Outreach. I said plugin, sorry, extension. There's several extensions that I love, and they only work on Chrome. So I don't know if there's anyone else out there like me that uses three browsers, but I love Chrome too.
I could see myself eventually using 5 computers. I mean, it's bad enough that I have tablets all over and At least I'm not like some people. I mean, some people have 40 devices, and I'm not at that stage.
I don't think we're quite at 40, but like earlier when I thought maybe I heard that Google ring and like I Skyped you and said, okay, let's see, there's 3 computers that could be making that sound near me, and then each of them have 3 browsers open, so there's potentially 9 different ones, and I don't know which one is ringing. So yeah, it gets complicated, but I do it because I've got not two personalities. I promise I'm not multiple personality or anything like that. But I've got I've got the social web cafe,
Yes.
the real Deborah Anderson, and then the real Deborah Anderson. The musician's not real, but the Deborah E. So
The
it
real
helps
Slim Shady, right?
yeah. So it helps to be logged into, the Google with Deborah E in one and Deborah Anderson on the other. So that's
Yeah.
why multiple.
Hmm.
And take it from me, it's a lot easier to just be one person. So don't do don't do what I'm doing. Just be one person. Well, thank you, Alex.
Oh, you're most welcome. And I'd love to have people follow me on Twitter and visit my page on Small Biz Trends. And I don't know if you can see this. Can you? Oh, oh wait.
Okay, let me see.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to use my other phone. One quick
Okay, let's
second,
do that.
people. Now,
There we
that
go. I can see
is
it.
me.
Excellent. If you want to just bring it up just a little bit, I know that covers your face, but just a little bit. There we go. Sorry, it's not an intention to cover your face, Alex, I promise. You can see it. That's great. And on post-production, I'll make sure that if there's any problem with seeing it, we will definitely add that in so that people can find you.
Oh, thank you so much, Deborah.
Sure thing. So there you go, guys. You have an assignment. You need to go follow Alex. You just saw the information there, and I'll add it in the description too, so people can find it in the replay. And
Thank
also
you so
check
much.
out, sure thing, the two tools, on the one tab and thing link. Is that what it?
Yeah, thinglink.com.
There we go. Excellent. Well, thank you, Alex, for joining us, and thank you all of you for tuning into Web Tools TV. And we will see you same place, same time next week.
Thank you, guys.